guys? Blessings to everybody. I hope you guys are having a blessed day. Today is a new day, and I hope you guys are enjoying it, living it up, praying, meditating, just getting the word in, motivation, having motivation. But yeah. So we are back, guys. We are back for another interview reaction. And this time it is Carlos King. He recently had an interview with Miss Kenya Moore. I noticed that you guys do love Kenya Moore. Either love or dislike her. But numbers been going up more with Kenya. So I'm like, okay, let's go ahead and react to her. Kenya, I ain't gonna lie. Kenya, with the other girls that's on there currently, Kenya's the only one that's really bringing it. Marlo is trying. Honestly, I kind of was one of the ones that was like, we should give Marlo a peach. They should have just left her as a friend. And Kenya does get into that too. So yeah, guys, let's get into the video. I hope you guys do enjoy the video. Oh yeah, and I got my nails done. People have been loving this color. They've been eating up this color. But yeah, let me show you guys. I got this little color in. Let me do the little doo-doo-doo. Yeah, I got that color in. It's like a mint green. People have been eating up the color, and I'm like, okay. I like bright colors anyways on my toes and my fingers. So yeah. But yeah, let's get into the video.
Me too. I wanted to. I was like, no, we need the in-person thing. Not the computer barrier. It's just weird for me. Like, our chemistry is in person.
No, it really is. It really is. So everyone, welcome.
Thank you.
The living legend, Miss USA. Oh. I mean, she puts the celebrity in Bravo celebrity.
Oh, yes.
Chocolate queen.
Thank you.
I mean, this woman, her and PORSHA saved the franchise from sinking. I said it before and I'll say it again. Thank you. Thank you. Aww. Thank you. Give it up for Kenya, the icon Moore.
Yes. Yes.
Yes. First of all, let's get started.
Thank you to my 3 fans that are here.
Because what I want to remind people is you were that girl.
Yes.
Before there were ever a reality show, a Bravo network, a housewife, a peach to hold.
Yes.
Any of those things, you are a dark-skinned black girl from Detroit, Michigan.
Come on, Detroit.
Okay.
What up, though?
What up, though? Our hometown. And you have amassed this empire for yourself. So I want to go back a little bit. Take me back to the time when you knew inherently, right, that I meant to be something special. When did you know that?
Oh, gosh, that's so weird. I don't know if I ever knew it. I just knew that my life was different. I felt like my life that I was living was different from a lot of other kids around me. Right. And I felt like all of the adversity that came my way, dealing with my mom, who could have easily destroyed me. Like, literally, she told me she would destroy me to my face.
Your mother said that to you?
My mother said that to me. She said,
I feel for her when it comes to, like, just her family dynamic.
How old were you?
With her
I was
mom.
about, I had to be, that was when I was hiding in my mother's closet. I had pre-recorded something because she wouldn't talk to me, and I was trying to get her to speak to me. And my cousin and I, we pre-recorded on the little tape cassettes, and I hid in her closet of my grandmother's home, her mom, hoping that when she came home, I could just press play, she would listen. Right. And I poured my heart out, like just saying, you don't have to speak to me. You don't have to, we don't have to be friends. Or you don't have to call me your daughter. But can you
sad. As a kid, that's sad.
Let's try to have a friendship. And when she came home, my cousin buried me in the closet, like put all the clothes, things in. So I was hidden in her closet. And when she came home, I remember my heart was just beating out of my chest. And I think it was around 11, 12, I think. And she came in, she figured out what was going on. She was like, who is there? She opened the closet door. She pulled all the clothes and things off of me, grabbed me out of there, took the recording, and she was livid. She was livid. I don't know what happened to me, but over time, I think I just developed like this thick skin that said, I'm going to show her wrong. Like, you're not going to destroy me.
Right,
And she
right.
tried everything that she could try. I remember the first pageant later that I ever won. It was called Little, I'm going to get this wrong. Miss Black Star was my first one, Little Miss Black Star. And then the second one, I can't remember the name right now because I'm getting old. I can't remember.
You look good though, bitch.
Yeah. I can't. The mind.
Okay.
The
Yes.
microscope is not as good.
The mind is a terrible thing to
it
waste,
is,
bitch, and it's
honey.
still there.
Yes, it is definitely failing me at times. But I remember it was so crazy because I remember I won my second pageant. So I was 16. And that pageant, you didn't have to reveal your age. So the first one you did, I was 13 or 14. 13. So the second one I entered, I won. And I was dating someone in high school that was very wrong, but he was a predator. 11 years my senior. So I was 16.
He wasn't a student?
As 27. He was 27 years old.
What?
He was a faculty member.
He was a predator who followed me home from school, which a lot of the boys, because I looked so much older, you know, I was tall, I was,
Wow.
athletic, curvy, all that. So no, he met me outside of school.
Wow.
And so anyway, my mother was calling the pageant director and was telling her I was an alcoholic. I was dating this older man. I was all of these horrible things, and that I should not be her beauty queen. I was a horrible representation, and she tried to get my crown taken away. And I remember
That's why she got thick
having this
skin.
meeting with
It makes
both of my
sense now.
grandmothers being there. With her name was Rosa Robinson, and my grandmother.
I'm gonna pause it right there for a second, guys, because like watching Kenya through Real Housewives of Atlanta, I remember there was one time where she tried to like show in contact with her mom. Her mom did not want to be on camera. And she went to her mom's house, and she knocked on the door and she's like, "Hi, I'm your daughter." And her mom, I think, ended up just slamming the door in her face. Like, I think Kenya had said, like, she was shocked and then she slammed the door in her face. And it was sad, like, honestly, because before then, like, when I would see Kenya, I was just like, oh, okay, yeah, she seemed cool. Like, she's bringing the drama. Even though time to time I feel like she irked the people. But I think it was just like a trigger, to her with some of the things that people would do to her on the show, or like just things that she would feel like just triggered her, on the show. Because people did antagonize her, and I feel like she also antagonized too. She gave back what people were giving to her. With PORSHA, I do not agree with that, and she does get into that later on. But I do feel for her, like, I remember that, like, when she's speaking about it, I remember she did show that scene one time on the show. And one thing she always does on the show, time to time, her dad would be on the show, and you see that loving relationship she gets from her dad. But it's sad when you don't get that from the other half of your family, like your parent, because you deserve that with both of your parents. And that, I had to just stop it to talk about that because that is sad. But yeah, guys, let's get back into it.
Both of my grandmothers had to come, and it was like a trial. And I was on trial to fighting to keep my first crown that I ever won. And it was all because of my grandmother. I have all the proof, the letters, I have everything in my safety deposit box. But that was all a part of my memoir, so hopefully one day we'll.
Oh no, we need to
that.
see it.
Yeah.
But I want to go back a little bit in terms of what changed. So your mother had you when she was a teenager, correct? She was
yes.
6.
She was around 16, 15, 16.
She was around 15, 16. We know tons of.
And my dad too.
Right. Your parents were teenagers, who I consider the Beyonce of the church. Sarah Jakes Roberts had a baby at 14. So I want to be. Everyone's different. But I know having a baby.
Black community, 70s.
Yes.
And it was not their first.
Different.
Minor, but teenage pregnancy in the family. It was their second.
It was her second.
Yes.
Did the pregnancy cause her to become reclusive because of the time that it happened?
That's a good question. She was always a recluse to me. She would always be in her room. The mother that I knew, that I would observe, and what I have been told, she was never someone who was out and partying. She was always in her room. But I know her post me, post baby. So I can't answer that. I only can answer what I've personally witnessed and, some of what people have said, but I think it's deeper than that.
Right.
And I really wish in my lifetime that her story would be told because we don't know the full story.
Damn, that makes me emotional.
It's a form of, do you think she's suffering through some form of mental illness?
Absolutely. That's why I studied psychology, because I wanted to find out what was wrong with my mother. It was my only passion in life at the time. I wanted to know what would make a person look their own child in the face and say, you are not mine, I never had you.
Right.
And was confident. Like, in her eyes, she meant that.
Wow.
I think because of everything that happened, I think people make a choice if they can. It's fight or flight. Mm-hmm. And I think that I just had, from Doris Grant, she instilled in me to fight. And that is why I'm a fighter by nature. Yeah. I'm a lover. I want everyone to get along. I love to laugh.
I feel like off of the show,
but bitch, when you comfort me, now you're challenging me, and now I have to fight. And I will give you everything that I have. And sometimes that is perceived as evil, or because my rebuttals are always so lethal that they forget about what the other person did to me. But when you forgot, this person literally just tried to spit on me, or this person just tried to kill me, or this person just said the most horrible things to me. All you can see is the strategic or the way that I respond. And it's not fair, because they just forget about what people have done to me, and it's not nice.
Do you think a lot of that has to do with colorism?
Meet Fargo.
Also,
they can't take us. They can't take us.
Yeah.
It's unfortunate, but I have seen a lot of that on these shows. I have. It's not a lie. It's not made up. It's not a perception. It is a reality.
Speaking of reality, you went from Miss USA.
Yeah.
Second black woman in the history. You are in the history books. You have acted in everything from Waiting to Excel to Martin.
Yes.
The Jamie Foxx show.
Martin.
You created movies with Will Packer.
Yes.
Twa, honey.
Yes.
More Vision Media produced
You look good
it.
then and still now.
You are...
At the time, Ymor. I was Ymor at the time.
Okay. Come on, Clarity. Because she's my girl. I'm like, yo, can we produce a reboot of Twa? What are we doing? I said I can call Go Packer. I want a reboot of that movie.
Yep.
So Kenya, why can't we do it?
Can
Can we do
it?
Well,
I think it was
can do
Charade.
it. Do we want to use twat in the title? I mean, they own that. But if we did it on our own and did a iteration of it, then I think we would be safe.
Can I tell you my dream? I never. No, my dream for you. I never said this to you.
Oh.
Okay.
Tell me.
I want you and I
Yes.
to create a show,
Yes.
a drama, like Melrose Place.
Oh, yes.
And I want you to play the character like Heather Locklear as Amanda. I want you to be like Amanda.
Yes, I would love to do that.
You would kill a dramatic role as a sexy hot villain.
Yes, I would love it.
A black Melrose Place.
Let's do it. I can write it.
Where you were at that time in your life?
You know, I just felt like it was stagnant. My life was stagnant. I was in my 30s, had multiple back-to-back long-term relationships, of course, many proposals. So, no, I had relationships, like 3 years, 4 years, almost got married in one of those relationships.
Celebrity man?
He was, I would say he was a celebrity. One. The other one was an agent, non-celebrity. And I just became like a person who stayed at home so much. I would work, kept my head down, booked a job here and there, kept the light bill, paid. and own my own home at 26 years old, had my own home in California. I just felt like I was, like you said, Groundhog's Day.
What people don't know is this, and you tell me if I got the number wrong. You filmed for over a month.
Oh, over a month, yeah.
Without being an official housewife.
Right, and without pay. They didn't pay you. They didn't pay me. That was the reason, eventually I was like, I'm out of here. If you don't know it by now, you're never going to know it. And so I'm gone. So thank you.
That's
thank you very
fact.
much. I know how to walk away. That's the one thing about me. I don't do things just for money. You know that. The history of me being on this show tells you that. If I'm not happy, if I don't like the way things are going, I'll just say, it's not working out. Thank you. Thank you for your time.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So yes, back then, anyone who was auditioning or wanting to be a part of the cast went through this rigorous filming. They would film you alone. They would
You gotta
film
give me
with
my
your
money, child.
man. They would film you with your children. They would film you out and about. And maybe if you kept making the cut, you would film with a housewife. Or
What?
if you didn't know a housewife already. I knew Lawrence, so I would film with Lawrence. That was my, entree, or what? Not entree.
No, he was your introduction into the.
He was my
the
introduction.
cast.
Yes. So Lawrence was my introduction to the cast. And so from there, in a scene, he might say, if it's going well, Phaedra's having a get together tomorrow. Do you want to come? Oh, well, I don't know who Phaedra is, in real life. So I'm like, well, sure. I don't know what to expect. I don't know these people, so that's how it worked. And the great thing about that casting process is that you had to earn your right to be a housewife of Atlanta. You had to earn it.
What you
It
know?
wasn't like, oh, this girl looks good. Oh, she looks good on paper. Let's make her a housewife. Girls are getting their contracts before they even meet us. And
Wow.
so then it blows up when they do meet us and they can't keep up and they're not a good fit. We've seen it season after season. It doesn't work.
We have.
You need to be tried and tested. That is it. NENE had an event.
Yes, season 5.
The success event, whatever. And all the potential housewives were there. I mean, you had Jerry Stackhouse's wife. You had all these, prominent, beautiful women of Atlanta. I mean, they were not only beautiful, but they were rich and, they were successful. They had husbands. They were the quintessential, what you would think is a housewife of Atlanta. Mm-hmm. And the girls
and for my audience, this is season 5.
Season 5.
It's become a meme. Is when NENE walks out like this.
Oh,
It's a meme now. It's a meme now. And Kenya Moore takes a microphone and said, "Okay, now that we're done with the clown show, so for my audience, is that scene? Continue."
That was a reference because I was amongst a bunch of clowns. Like they were televised.
No, it was. It's when Kim shoved the camera.
Yes.
Porsha wasn't there.
No, she wasn't there. They cast Porsha after Kim walked off because then it was like they didn't know what was going to be happening with Kim. And so Porsha was the replacement housewife.
Oh.
No shade to Porsha.
No.
I'm just
I
saying
didn't
how
know
it
that.
happened. Yes.
No.
Yes, because remember the
that.
number of housewives they had. I think at the time it was
6.
6. They didn't need 7. They never have been 7 of Atlanta. Not from my memory. It's never been 7. Even to this day, I don't think they've ever had 7. So when she walked off, that opened up the casting again and said, okay, we have this other girl. Let's look some more. And then Porsha came, and I don't know who else, but yeah, that's how that happened.
So the housewives went on strike.
Yep, which was a great thing because they came together, which I admired. They did not like the way that Kim was receiving preferential treatment, and they band together and was like, we're not going to work this week. So they were like, okay, well, what are we going to do? Production is down for a week. Let's get this other girl, audition her because now we don't know what's happening. Kim's walked off. Let's look at what else we can film. And so that's when they called me to come in to go to Porsha's event. And Porsha was very interesting.
United
and
States.
Actually, before the event, we had a lunch. We had a lunch together. I remember that. We had a lunch, and she was really sweet. And you know me, I'm always sizing people up, so I'm like listening to her little things she would say, and I was like, okay. It was a fine lunch. Like it was nothing wrong with the lunch. Then when I get to the event, and it was just little things that I was seeing, like it was an event for charity for her grandfather, but she received a Chanel bag, in front of all these people, and I was like, why? Like, it was just my natural thought, like, is this the right time to like give your wife a Chanel bag? Like, it was just very odd to me. So it was just little things I would see, but people think it was. They have a different take. Again, they always look at my response, but they don't look at what was done to me. So the thing with Porsha is, okay, yeah, sure, she screwed up my title. Plenty
we
of
get
people
in the tea.
I think they're this. A lot of people think they're one and the same. They're both prestigious titles. Miss America, Miss USA, they're the same. It was her reaction, like it was like like, oh, whatever, girl, whatever. Like, no, it's not whatever. It's Miss USA. Like, I'm telling you that you got it wrong. Don't go, oh, whatever, ha 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 ha. No, say, I'm so sorry for that. Don't embarrass me. So it was that. I remember going out getting some air. So this is when I think they kind of took her aside. Like, she came out, she was polite at first. She came back, and then that's when the insults started to fly. Like, she was like,
we told her something.
You could just go to the curb. I remember this almost like
she was on the phone. You can
go to the curb where you belong or something.
Yes.
And I was like, well, now it's turned. See, I didn't insult you. I walked away. I did not say anything to you. I did not insult you. One of my triggers is when people insult me, and especially when it's uncalled for. I don't think people know that about me. I don't like to be insulted because I'm going to play nice with you.
We could tell.
But I'm not going to hit you first. When you hit me is when I have to return with something much stronger.
Let me pause it for a second, guys, because I feel like, and I said that like earlier, I feel like when it comes to like Kenya, she gonna go for you. Like, she's been the antagonizer, but people antagonize her. So I feel like it was some reason, because it really didn't make sense to me why her and Porsha was always getting into it. And from what I seen on the show, because everybody has different intakes of what they see on the show. For me, I felt like it was just out of nowhere. But her explaining it, it makes sense because there's a lot of things behind the scene that we do not know happened. See, when it came to Porsha going outside, we only see her go outside one time. Kenya's letting us know that Porsha came outside, she was polite, and then I guess she was pulled to the side, and then when she came back, she started like hitting, antagonizing. We didn't see that. We could tell like the clip was cut up a little bit, but we don't see that part, and that explains a lot. But let's get back into it.
So, and I think people know that.
They know that now, yes.
So she hit me with these insults. It's like, wait, I'm on the curb? Like, wait, why do you have to insult me, girl? You just insulted me there. I didn't say anything to you. Now we are out on the curb, and now you're just like, all of a sudden you're a different person, and you're like doing the most. Mm-hmm. So that's how that started. People didn't see it that way. They looked at this young, cute girl. Oh, so aloof. Oh, it's okay. She's not that now, but she was then. Mm-hmm. And I was like, you got to be kidding me. Because one thing I admire most about people is intelligence. I think people know that. I like a smart, pretty girl. I live for a smart, pretty girl. So, I'm a girl, I keep me a smart, pretty girl. So, so I'm like, no, I'm not jealous. I'm not, because I keep $1 worth of dimes around me. You know that. Come on now.
Oh, you better.
We're born because they went on strike.
That is so amazing to me because it also showed that me as a viewer watching season 5. So I produced the first 4 seasons. I left. I'm watching it at home, and I'm fascinated by the two of you.
The dynamic.
I'm fascinated by the dynamic.
And it was the first time, like, I wasn't a housewife. I wasn't a housewife then. It was 2 non-housewives shooting a scene at the time.
Which is unheard of.
Unheard of. They didn't have a choice. They had nothing. They were going to waste the whole production week, or they were going to shoot something.
When were you officially made a housewife?
I think it was after the NENE's event. It was after NENE's event.
Shoe Dazzle?
No, after the
Oh.
Women in Success event, because I remember
The clown
saying
show
I was
event.
done. Yeah.
Okay.
I remember this seating or whatever. I don't remember. Oh, it was that year that people couldn't understand the seating. I think it was last year. And I
Yeah.
was like, you would never move NENE's seat. Even, and don't tell me it's about story.
It's not.
Because at the end,
It's not.
it's not. It's not about story, okay? It's about who are the leads of the show, okay? That's why Giselle, and I love Giselle. I love Giselle.
Giselle's a star.
Giselle is a star of Potomac. But
Giselle's the face of Potomac.
well,
bring
on
the
Karen, they
drama.
put her in the middle. Now.
Giselle's not the face.
But I didn't like that.
I didn't like it, and
I didn't like that.
I love Karen.
Yeah, I love Karen
Okay.
too. But Giselle is that girl.
Giselle is the face and the star of Potomac.
Giselle
I
bring
love
the
I
drama.
love Karen, Wendy,
I love them all.
Candace. I love them all.
Yes, but Giselle is that girl.
Okay.
And I remember calling. I will call because it's the same production company. I remember calling an executive and saying, "Why isn't Giselle in the middle? Well, I don't understand with their what is it? Their wine champagne?
The champagne.
Yeah.
Champagne.
Why
flute.
isn't she in the middle? Like this is ridiculous. You know. And then when it comes to reunion seating, it is a lot of people think it's about story. It
It's
should
not.
not be about story. I don't care how. At the end, NENE did not have story for 3 seasons.
You tried this, bitch.
She did. You ain't see her family. You ain't see her man half the time. You ain't see nothing. But NENE would come and show you her shoes. She would come and model her shoes and sit in the
The
corner and
shade.
be mad at everybody. And they would never move NENE's seat. Okay, that is a fact. And I felt so
Shade.
disrespected. Knowing what I have put into this franchise, what I have sacrificed, what I have been on this show, you should never move my seat. Never. Candy can sit on the end. She don't care. Her paycheck's not gonna change.
What I can confirm is, it's not about story.
It's not about story.
It's about, and listen, it is what it is. The first seat is about who's the star of the season, the star of the show, who's the face of the show. Is the reason why Giselle, Teresa Giudice, Kyle Richards,
Yep.
NENE Leakes, Kim
Yep.
Zolciak,
Yep.
okay, Bethany Frankel.
Yep.
Let's have a
They
conversation about
never
it.
always had the most story. Never.
That's true.
Never. I feel like I'm akin to Kyle. Like Kyle in some way. Like Kyle, I have always had great story. This year, not so much. You know? Not so much. But at the same time, NENE has had seasons where she was not, like I said, she was not giving you great story. But that does not mean
she brought
that
the
was
drama.
not still the
That's
star of
why.
that show. And I really took umbrage to that and still do because I think it's a mistake. I think it's a mistake. And
Do you think it's a message to you?
if that's the case, then every season they do that is a message to me. I mean, the message is maybe, you know, like you said, I don't feel that my time on this show has been as valued as it should have been, as it should be.
Kenya
Was
brought
Where am I
drama
spending
too.
this? When I
Let's
was at the
keep it real.
height of my time on this show, to dig up dirt on someone that you don't even know yet.
Yeah.
And for what is the point of it? What is the end result of that? What is the end game for you to fuck with my life? Because obviously, this man is going to look at me like, well, you're causing me, you're having my clients calling me that didn't even know I had been arrested, and they don't even know what this was about. This
All right, guys, we're going to go ahead and end the video right there, the reaction right there. This was a long interview, but honestly, it was really interesting. I mean, I cannot be honest, like, it was more interesting, and I only watched part 1 of NENE's interview. Maybe part 2 was more juicier. But this was very, like, entailing about, like, a lot of things that we probably needed, like, some more info about or clarity about, you know. And I enjoyed this interview. I really did. I feel like Kenya went in all angles, you know, from her upbringing, her relationship with her family, you know, and then also how she was brought to this show, even a whole month not being a housewife, you know, how that turned out for her afterwards, you know. And yeah, guys, I hope you guys did enjoy the video. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. And I'll see you guys in the next video reaction. Bye, guys.